All right, so we're just getting started. We're going to be doing a live broadcast on how to sculpt on a nail biter. And you know what? I don't think I even put that on the title here. Let me flip this around. Okay, so I'm just at the salon and I'm about to leave for Canada for Nail Masters Canada show. Hello everybody. And I wanted to show a couple techniques really quickly on how to sculpt on a nail biter. I have two different ways in which I can do it, and actually I thought that hi Danielle. I thought that I would also show you the prep work for it as well because it goes pretty fast. So I'm just going to jump right into it. And let me do this. Now I'm just wondering if I get a better picture by like this. All right, Ariane. So I'm going to take her nails so you can see. I'm going to turn this off for just a moment so you can see kind of what I'm seeing. And sometimes what Ariane does not have is when, you know how some people, when you're going to sculpt them, the skin will push up a little too much and make it very difficult for us to put forms on. So I can show you, like I said, I'll show you a couple different ways. I need to get my eyes on. I'm using our medium grit sanding band. It's the only type of sanding band that we have, but it is a different sanding band from the majority of the bands that you'll find on the market. I hope that I'm able to talk over the dust collector because I want everything to go straight into the dust collector as I'm working. Hang on a second. I'll just adjust this. There we go. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I am pushing back her cuticle with the sanding band at the same time as I'm removing cuticle from her nail plate. And I'm just repeating the process on all of her nails. And I'm so sorry, I don't have my assistant, my daughter, Kelly, here. She normally will keep an eye on what we're doing and questions that may come up. So I probably won't be able to see your questions as I'm working. I'll take your other hand, Ariane. All right. Hey, Suki. I did, however, happen to see that. Okay, so yeah, we're just showing, okay, this is going to be a really good one because you can see when we turn her nail sideways that the skin kind of comes up higher than her nail. And that seems to throw a lot of people. And I will say, in all the years that I've done nails, we've had a really, really high success rate with nail biters. Because we're able to get them to stay on without any problems. And if there's nothing to pick at, then they typically won't pick them or pick them off. So, all right, we're just about done. And you can see this is pretty much how fast I would prep even somebody with a normal nail. I'm right-handed, so I do go right to left. Make sure I get any cuticle removed off the nail plate. Then I dust. I'm going to turn this fan off so you can hear a little bit better. I'm going to use our nail dehydrator. And this is our master prep. You cleanse, dehydrate. It cleanses, dehydrate, and rebalances the pH level of the nail. I'll take the other hand. So we're going to do that pretty quick. So your prep work does not have to be real entailed. If there's a lot of cuticle, you can use a pushers before you get started. I do find that by using a medium grit sanding band, you will tend to remove excess cuticle so that you can get the product on more of the nail. So that's one of the other reasons why I really like prepping with a sanding band. All right, and I missed that last message. You cannot see. Okay, there we go. Thank you. All right, I've got to stay up here, I guess, a little bit higher. There we go. Hopefully that's better. The master prep that I put on was just your basic dehydrator, so you really didn't miss a whole lot. And I will try and keep this right up in the light. Okay, so first technique that I'm going to show is with our forms, our master forms. Now our master forms, I use 2 of them for a full set of nails. So when you're buying a 300 count roll of forms, you can actually get 150 full sets out of these forms. So I remove it. I'm going to break it open. The ends are wide enough so that I can close it down before I put it on. And what that does is it allows me to see if it's going to be off to one side or the other, if it's going to be crooked at all. And then with skin that sits up higher than the, I want to get this right about there. Skin that sits up a little bit higher than the nail like this. What I'll do is I'm going to take, now I do not make any cuts in the form. You never want to make a cut in the form because you won't be able to do this technique. What I'm going to do is I lay it down in front of the nail, and now I'm pulling down pretty hard, and I'm pulling the skin down. Do you see that now? The skin is pulled down just under so that I can get the gel right into her nail. And when I do a full set, if the skin is popping up like on her nail, what I will do is I will do a little bit of an extension. Now, the thing is, whenever you do an extension on somebody that has bitten nails, please do not ever make the extension any more than the same length as the nail bed that they have showing. If they insist on it, you really should have them sign a release form saying that you won't be able to guarantee it. So I'm going to flash cure. You can see I've got that thumb in the light. I'm flash curing that right now. And then what I would do is I will have her put that hand in the light off to the side, and I'm going to take her other hand. And because she has the same kind of thing on her other thumb where the skin sits higher than the nail, I'm going to do that same technique here. So I'm going to close the form down. Where are we? Okay, it's closed. Our forms are made wide enough so that you can close them before you apply them, and you want to actually pull the skin down. Pull the skin down and pinch it underneath so that it holds the skin down like this. Hi, Jolie. All right, and then I'm going to put a tip right there. I'm going to sculpt out a little bit of gel for a tip on her. And when I sculpt out an extension, I only go onto the natural nail a little bit, and you can see I'm not real careful to get the sides and the length perfect because it files like butter, and that's just a waste of time. So, okay, I'm going to have her switch hands. Now, in order to do a full set with just these 2 forms, I take the back of my brush, which is beveled. I just release it from the form. You release the sides, and then you pull this straight down. And now you can do it on the next nail. Now, the other way that you can do it when the skin is not pushing up higher than the natural nail is this. You could actually make that overlay, and especially for pink and whites, this works really well. You can actually make that overlay, and I go right onto the skin with the gel. Now, our master gel is hypoallergenic, so there aren't any allergens that might react with the skin. So this is safe to do with our product. Whether you've had a client that has been allergic to acrylic or gel, the master gel that we use is safe to use on anybody without a reaction. All right, then same thing here. I'm going to take this off. And typically when I do a full set of nails, I'm going to pull this, I release those sides, and then I'm going to pull that straight down. I'm going to point her elbow out a little bit, and now I'm going to reapply it to the next nail, like this. Can you all see what I'm doing pretty well? I hope so. All right, and I'm going to turn it sideways so you can kind of see. Now, I also angle that form up just slightly. I have learned to never put a form on like this. And I do want to point this out. Please don't drop your forms so that it makes a nice, pretty arch, because the glare from the light. Oh, thank you, thank you. You know what? I'm going to try working without it. All right, let's try that. I've learned not to drop it down to make an arch, because you make the arch with the product, not with the form. If you make the arch with the form, the product is going to flow along there, and it's going to be very thin in the stress area, and she is going to crack. So, and that's whether it's a nail biter or not. So what I do is I make sure that those forms are straight and or slightly, I actually like them slightly tipped up. Can you see that? So it's just slightly tipped up. That way I don't have any issues at all with stress cracks. Because by the time I get the overlay on, the overlay will be the thickest in the stress area, and I'll be able to show you that in just a moment. I'm going to have Ariane switch hands. Now, with that second method that I just showed you, where I put the gel on her natural nail and on her finger, what I'm going to do is I'm just pressing down lightly, and you might be able to see this. I'm just pressing down lightly, and it removes the gel from her skin. And because it's hypoallergenic, it's safe to do this. I'm going to try and keep that hand right there, Ariane. And then I'm able to slide the form under. Under that free edge that we've just created. And again, you'll see from the side, it will be, I'm going to try and get the right angle, straight to slightly up. And then I can go ahead and I can create my extension from there. So these are just a couple of techniques that are helpful to move quickly through the salon, through a set of nails at the salon. And what I'll do is, I'm going to have you switch. What I will do is I will post her nails after we're done. I'll post them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, so that you can see what they look like when we're done. Yes, the same form, only 2 forms. Yes, that's all I use are the 2 forms for the full set. I just keep moving one to the next, but with a nail biter, I will not give a relief cut. I won't cut my forms, because you typically want to stretch them around so that you can pull the skin down on the sides. If you don't, the skin pops up higher than the nail, and you will always get cracks in those areas if you don't really pull that form down really nice and tight underneath the nail. I'll try showing you on one more. Okay, switch hands, Ariane. All right, I always use the back of my brush to release. Pull the side tabs first, like this, and then grab a hold of the tab and pull straight down, and it'll come off. Now you're able to do this, the next finger. Now I'm going to try and turn it and get it as close as I can to you. I'm going to have you curl that finger under. Now, I'm putting it just in front of the nail, and right here with my thumbs, the tips of my thumbs, I'm like really pressing down. So I'm going to press down, and I'm going to maintain pressure until I pinch it underneath. Okay? So you can actually see that I've completely kind of reshape the tip of her finger with this form temporarily until I get that on there. All right, and then I'm just going to put the extension on. And again, I'm not going to, typically the rule for sculpting nails on anybody that has very short nail bitten nails is never to extend it past the tip of their finger when you're finished. I sculpt them longer than the tip of their finger, as you can see. But it's going to be filed down before I'm done so that it doesn't come past the tip of her finger, because otherwise that's another way that these nails can really break quite easily. So again, I'm just going to really pull this down. Do you feel the pressure, Ariane, when I'm doing that? Yeah, she even feels that pressure. And you can kind of see the fingertip inside is a little pink from where I've pinched it, which is just fine because it's extremely temporary. It's just long enough for me to get a little bit of an extension on. You don't want to get your forms up too high, otherwise it'll look like they're winging up in the air. Okay, switch. But that's kind of it. Just for time's sake, I just want to go back to the thumb that we did at the very beginning. And this is just the extension. From here, I would use our over and around technique, which means you really load up your gel brush a lot. I've filled it up right to the ferrule. I set it right at the free edge, and I put the tip of my brush back to the cuticle. I don't look at the product. I'm only looking at the clean side of the brush. And I go down to one side. I'm tipping my head. I don't tip the nail. And then I go down to the other side. And again, I'm just looking at the clean side of the brush and come around, and that overlay is done. The product levels in just right with this particular technique, and it's very fast. Okay, I'm going to have you switch hands all together. Okay, so that's it. I think that's all I'm going to show you for today, but I will post the pictures of her nails when we're all done. I'm going to really have to boogie because I got to get this set done and still get to the airport. But thank you all for joining, and I will talk to you later. Thanks. Bye. Okay, we weren't exactly planning on doing this, but I just realized that I did not write how to sculpt nails on a nail biter on the first one. So, we will, let me get this flipped around. Okay, so I'm just finishing up sculpting the nails on Ariane's, and I will show a side-by-side before and after afterwards. But now I might have to turn off the light to show you her nails. Yeah, I'm going to have to show. Here, hang on a second. Let me get this. I want to show you how I finished her one hand. This is, I'm going to turn the light out so you can see it better. So these are the nails that we sculpted on Ariane, and her natural nail bed actually goes down, starts right about there. So it is, we definitely have doubled the length of her nail from when she first came in here. And like I said, I don't recommend that, I'm going to maybe turn them sideways a little bit. I don't recommend that you go past the tip of her finger with the length, because you're just looking, it's too easy to break those nails off when there's only like a 1/4 inch of nail left on the hand. So this is what we have so far. And in order to finish the other hand, what I did was I cleansed. I just wanted to show you the process because it is just a little bit different. I turn on my dust collector. You can watch, hopefully. I'm hoping you can see what I'm doing here. The dust goes straight down into the dust collector. I get it right to about the length that I want, so I have very little hand filing to do. And if you use your electric file on high, you get the least amount of vibration. And if you're using a really good, well, let me lift this up. You might not be able to see so well. If you're using a really good sanding band, you won't get the heat that you would get from other sanding bands or from a carbide. A good sanding band actually will give you less heat than a carbide. And I know that sounds really strange, but being an acrylic user, every couple years I would go back and I would try out my best carbide, a Swiss carbide, no matter what it was. And my good sanding bands always did a better job than a carbide did, especially in cutting out smile lines, which sounds really peculiar. But for finishing up Ariane's nails, all I'm doing is shaping them, and I wanted to show you the last bit because I always file after the sealant. When you're sculpting a nail, there is not a seal to be broken. And even if there is a nail under there, there's a better way of preventing separation than capping the edge. Capping the edge always results in an artificial looking nail. So I'm also going to turn them around this way. I'm going to try this one more time. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, there we go. I wanted to lift this up so you could see a little bit better, because I always want to see what my client sees. But anyway, don't cap your edges of your gels. It just looks very artificial when you're done. And the best way to prevent separation is actually to file under the nails at a 45-degree angle, like this. This blends any natural nail into the gel, and it's not strong enough to separate. But because her nail, or the tip of her finger is right up next to that nail, I'm going to tip her upside down so I can see it a little bit better. And now I'm going to refine the tip thickness so that it doesn't look like she has a really thick sculpted nail. It should look very natural when we're done here. And that is how I would, well, this and oil is how I would finish. So this is her finished, again, this is her finished hand. I'm hoping that, I'm going to try and get this in so you can see well enough. And from a side view, you still want to see a nice, there we go. You still want to see a nice arch in those nails, like this, even her thumb. And we did show two different techniques on how to sculpt out a nail when you have a nail biter, whether the skin pops up higher than the nail plate or when it doesn't. So no oval shape. Sometimes, you know, she might have looked good with an oval, but sometimes when they're a little too short, that can look odd as well. I did not want to go super square, and I didn't want to go super oval with her nails, because I wanted them to look a little more natural, and I wanted them not to have an odd appearance. Let me turn I'm going to turn the light on just to see. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can see any better with the light on or off, but we'll take a before and after picture and post that up for you, and so that you can see it. And if you have any other questions, feel free to give me a call. We'll also post this on our YouTube channel, Gel Master 1000. You can review some of the techniques that we used for her nails there, and I think that is it. If you have any suggestions for future tutorials or Periscope, please message me at amy@masterworksgel.com, and we'll be sure to show you our tips and tricks for doing any type of nails. But I especially do like doing a little bit more challenging techniques and things that most people haven't seen. So, all right, thanks for tuning back in. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.